Welcome back to Underdog Racing League. I am Chance Durheim, bringing you coverage from Texas Motor Speedway. Today we have the Rubinstein Memorial 200, presented by Wild Bill Soda, named after the grandmother of driver Noah Tansman. She sadly passed away after a battle with brain cancer. See a lot of drivers with pink and green on their cars for breast cancer and brain cancer awareness. And then as far as the race goes tonight, it'll be 130 laps around the 1.5 mile track. Stages at lap 35 and lap 70. And then once we get ready here, we'll take a look at our custom ink starting lineup and take a look at mostly pink cars. We got a couple green ones in there too, but everybody having their paint schemes out for Robin and all others who have died, suffered from breast cancer, any form of cancer. So with that, let's take a look at our starting lineup. And we'll start from the rear again this week. Starting shotgun on the field, starting 24th, will be Jason Seams in the 81. Starting 23rd will be the number 90 of James Larrabee. 22nd will be the 14 of Scott Kerberg. We'll move up to 19th. That is where you'll find the number 11 machine of Stephen Horner. Then we have 18th, Christopher Heights in the 21. And then 17th is Blake Kennedy in the number 7. We're just waiting for the 21st and 20th driver to load in here. We can go back to 20th. That's where you'll find Marshall Wilson in the 85. And then 21st is Dakota Bly. We'll get to his car eventually once he does load in. But got a couple more not in yet. Let's go up to 15th, where we'll find the number 66 of Noah Tansman. Then we go to 14th. There is Jake Williams Sr., 13th, C17 of Derek Riley. He was having some computer issues, but looks like he got them figured out. Starting 12th will be the 9 of Cody Dorsey. 11th will be the 28 of Dennis Steele. And then we get into our top 10. Starting us off, David Chapman in the 88. Dylan Walterman, last season's champion, will start 9th in the number 16. 8th is Robert Clifford in the number 99. We have Nick Gardner in the 27, last week's winner, and another previous winner this series, number 68, Will Young. And we have Dylan Zampa in the 1, starting 5th. Jason Bottoms in the number 5, starting 4th. Tom Lanier, driver of the 22, will start 3rd. Then our front row is locked out by Justin Stenard and Jason Fensler. So going to go back to a couple cars we missed. Here is the 16th starter, Scott Milner, and then the 21st starter, Dakota Bly in the 58. So let's go find the number 66 car. I believe we're doing something special for him, and in remembrance of his grandmother, he's going to go up to the front, pace the field for 1, maybe 2 laps here at the start, and just give him kind of a nice gesture and show off the breast cancer awareness machine that he's got. These leagues kind of bring a sense of community and a sense of meaning to some drivers, and kind of helps out when things like this happen. I know we've done a couple of these remembrance type races before in the past, and it's always nice to be able to honor some people and help some people get through some of these types of things that life throws at you. So hope Noah and all his family are doing well. and it looks like he's going to drop back to his normal starting position. So I'd expect us to go green next lap, and look out for all those pink cars. See if they can do well tonight. And Noah's got a great team around him. I saw earlier, they were all in the infield, kind of lining their cars up, trying to take pictures and stuff like that with all their pink on together. And it's a cool gesture by them. But yeah, as far as the race goes tonight, I don't know if I have any keys like I normally do, but a lot of complaints in practice were about the car being too tight, and that was during the day. So the track was a lot hotter, a lot slicker. I think if they were complaining about tightness then, they're going to struggle mightily as this race goes on. So that'll be something to watch out for. Stage, lap 35 and lap 70. So 2 35-lap stages and then a 60-lap run to the end. So we should not have to pit during those first 2 stages, but during that last one, I don't think they can run all 60 laps. But we're getting ready to go green here. And it's going to be Jason Fensler and Justin Stenard in what feels like his first race back in a while. He's been doing some race control the last couple weeks, so good to see him back out on the track and at a track that he's very good at. But let's get ready to go green. From Texas, here we go. Green flag is out. It's a good start for both drivers up front. Watch everybody trying to come through turn 1 here for the first time. And down the back straightaway, it's Jason Fensler out front. Tom Lanier looking for second to the inside of Justin Stenard. And it did look like the 22 got pretty tight there, drifted up the track, left open some room for Dylan Zampa. He's going to try to go from 4th up to 2nd in 1 lap. Lanier holding strong on that outside line. We'll see how long he can do it. This is where he lost a lot of time on lap 1, and he's going to surrender that position right there on lap 2. Everything pretty orderly up front. Jason seems he had to start from the pits. Did not get a qualifying lap down. Here goes Nick Gardner to the inside of Stenard. He is 2nd in the points, 4 points off Jason Fensler. The regular season championship is oh so important, as you guys have seen in real life. I don't know exactly how many extra bonus points we give, but I do know it does give extra as Stenard is in the wall there on entry, and he's going to take that thing way up the track. I mean, you rarely ever see that type of line taken, but I think since he got into the wall, that's where he went, and it gave him a pretty good run off the corner. He's going to look back to the inside of Gardner. Not going to be able to complete the move there. Zampa, he's up front putting the pressure on Jason Fensler. These two last week, they went at it pretty much the entire time, and then they came down pit road late in the race, opted for tires over track position, and it cost them both, with neither of them picking up the victory while they were both the dominant cars. So we'll see if they learned anything from last week, if they can close the deal this week. Let's go to the gyro cam off of Zampa. can hear those tires squealing. I definitely see the tightness that these guys are fighting now. We learned last week that Zampa and Fensler are teammates, I believe, and I would expect them to work together pretty well, at least through this part, and then we'll kind of see on after that once we get later in the race. But last week they worked together very well. Zampa kind of just followed Fensler around through most of that third stage, and it looks like that might be sort of their game plan again right here. Battle between the 5 and the 68. 2 team cars here. Bottoms and Will Young. Bottoms, a Championship 4 driver last year. Will Young, a winner earlier this season, a multiple-time winner last season. Team FSR right here, and I mean, if they're a team, I think these two up here, Dylan Zampa, Jason Fensler, those are going to be the 2 main teams to watch for this season. We don't really have a team's championship, but it is always cool to see kind of the team dynamics at play here, and maybe not so much on these type of tracks, as Lanier's going to lose a spot to Gardner and maybe another one to Stenard. But definitely on the super speedways, see who works together, see who doesn't, and see who gives each other breaks is there. Stenard just came a little bit too far up, slid through the grass, made an insane save, and he's only going to drop back to about 7th position there. Looked like there was a little bit of a tap from Tom Lanier, and now Stenard being aggressive, trying to recoup those positions lost. Young going to go up high, try to block. Going to run off the corner. Now he comes down to the middle. Tight side-by-side racing. Stenard gets the move done. It looks like for now. And Justin going to now try to work on the 5 of Jason Bottoms. Keep trying to move his way up through the field. Young trying to make a move after Bottoms got into the wall. It looked like off the corner. And that's going to be very costly for Jason Bottoms. He'll move from 5th back to about 8th, it looks like. Slotting in behind Dylan Walterman in the 16. There's been great battles so far early on in this race. Robert Clifford trying to make another one happen. To the inside of the 5 of Bottoms as he and Dylan Walterman got into it. Walterman looks broke. Everybody trying to scurry away, get out of the way. Everybody goes up top and gets by Dylan Walterman. Let's take a look at what happened there. This is going back to last lap. I believe it happened in 3 and 4. See if anything happened kind of through 1 and 2 here. I mean, we didn't really get a great angle of it. I don't know if it was some sort of netcode issue or what. Oh, I think it was something with his wheel. So let's go back just a little bit here. Just watch the 16 as he enters the corner. It looks like it just turns left and slams on the brakes. That's got to be some sort of wheel malfunction, some sort of issue. Let's go take a look at it from Jason Bottoms' POV. So he's just following him here, and yeah, it looks like he just stops, and Bottoms, nowhere to go. Does not have any time to react, just gets caught up in it, but I mean, I don't think that's Dylan Walterman intentionally doing that. I think that's just his wheel screwing up a little bit and ended up costing both cars dearly. Now, we see that happen from time to time. In these simulations, you don't get blown tires unless you really, really overdo it. You don't see blown engines, things like that. But, I mean, I'd equate that right there to a blown tire. Just kind of had something on his car, on his rig break, and ruined his race. So, Noah Tansman had some sort of issue back there, got into the wall. Not sure what that was all about. But a number of drivers did come down pit road. I'll get them all to you once we get to the start-finish line. They'll give us the rundown there. And it looks like Walterman's going to be able to continue. Whatever was wrong with his wheel looks like it's figured out. Yeah, and he's able to drive right off there. So, very bizarre incident and wreck there, but I mean, sometimes what can you do? So drivers 13th on back all came down during that pit stop. Christopher Heights seems to be very out. Seems like he towed his car for some reason. I'm not sure why. But, yeah, that car is currently towing. So it'll be Fensler and Zampa side by side for this restart. We'll see the aggressiveness levels on these restarts. Fensler, again this week, opting for the outside on these restarts. Something we've started to see from him, and he's really been the first guy to do it all season. So we'll see if those fresh tires from some of the drivers a little farther back, Stenard, Young, Clifford, Milner, see if they can climb up through the field, or these guys are going to be able to hold them off. It'll be Zampa and Fensler as we get into the Geico restart zone. Here we go. It's a great jump for Jason Fensler. And now it's Zampa and Tom Lanier side by side for second. Caution is out. What is the caution for? Trying to find somebody back there. Huge damage for a number of cars. Scott Milner, Justin Stenard, like Jason Bottoms. Dylan Walterman was back there. I don't know of his damage. And for Jason Bottoms, he just used his fast repair. Let's go take a look. So this is right at the start here. And something just goes on in front of him. Let's go to the blimp. And it looked like it was maybe Scott Milner. So let's go back one more time. Stephen Horner on the bottom just doesn't really go. Stenard puts it 3 wide middle, and I don't know if Stenard came down or Horner came up, but yeah, it's got Walterman involved as well. So what just happened? Let's go back even further here, because you cannot change lines until you get to the start-finish line, but we'll see. I mean, in Stenard's defense, Horner doesn't really go, but still that's the rule there, and he just turns down, and I don't know if he thought he was clear or what, but it's a big incident for the 33, and huge consequences throughout there. And I know a lot of these guys kind of towards the back are trying to run for the cleanest driver title, and when something like that happens, it really, really hurts your ability to do so, but nobody out front pitted. It was pretty much just everybody who came down last time coming down this time. So nothing really changed out there. Remember, stage is at lap 35, so especially, excuse me, especially with these cautions, shouldn't need to come down pit road for fuel during this stage. So next time by, we should get the green flag. We see some cars coming out of pit road. Let's try to take a look at what kind of damage they got. Here's Jason Bottoms. I know there's got at least one or two Bottoms fans in the chat. Not looking great. We'll go to the zoomed in cam. We'll try to see it on the backstretch here a little better. Yeah, you see that right front, or left front, excuse me, really bent in there. Left side got a lot of damage. Not looking great for Bottoms, but I mean, really, we've seen 2 incidents already. Just got to kind of get to the end here at this point. Maybe a race for survival, and then another guy who already used his fast repair, Dylan Walterman. Got about the same issue there. Looks like it's maybe on both sides for Walterman, though. I guess I'm not sure. Don't really have a great angle at it. Here we go. Yeah, maybe even more bent on the right front. So 2 cars with some damage. We'll see how it affects them during this next restart here. Be Fensler and Zampa again side by side. And then Tom Lanier, Nick Gardner in row 2. Cody Dorsey moved his way up through the field. Steele, Riley, Williams, Marshall, Wilson, and Blake Kennedy round out the top 10. Into the Geico restart zone. Here we go. Another good restart for Fensler. Gets down in front of Zampa, and Zampa got away pretty well compared to Tom Lanier there. First 2 out and away. Nick Gardner fighting on the outside of Tom Lanier. Everybody forming up on the top. Be tough for Tom to hold on to that spot. He's cleared now. See if he can hold off the advance from Dennis Steele. They're side by side. Looking to hold it together through this quad oval. And they do. It's such a distinct difference in both corners that you usually don't see at these 1.5 mile racetracks. Come into this turn 3 and 4, and it's pretty tight and narrow comparatively to turns 1 and 2, and has a little bit different banking as well. And then you come through the quad oval up through the start finish line, and then into this monster of a corner here in 1 and 2. We've seen about 1 or 2 drivers go all the way up top and run it. It's not going to be a line you see used a lot, but it is there if you do choose to take it. Will Young moving to the outside of a machine there. That is the 9 of Cody Dorsey. And he's the first car on fresh tires. He got through that little bit of mayhem back there, and now he's up to 6th, trying to work on Dennis Steele. Almost contact with Dennis there. Moves up and back down. He's got that move done. Another one happening just in front. That's Nick Gardner, Dylan Zampa. Zampa trying to hold on the high line. And this is interesting for Zampa. He definitely had the car to stay with Jason Fensler through the first 10, maybe 15 laps, but ever since this restart and kind of towards that first caution there, he was kind of trailing away. But here comes Will Young. Those fresh tires, only 14 lap difference, are proving to be a world of difference. He's going to go all the way up top, maybe make it 3 wide on exit here. He tried to do it, just couldn't. Didn't have the run. Ended up into the wall. And now he's going to regroup, try to do it again. This time he follows the Zampa machine. He gives him gives him a little bit of a bump there. Then we got Zampa high, Young middle, and it was Gardner low, but now Young's going to look low. Faked me out a little bit there. But this is an insane battle for second, and exactly what Jason Fensler wants out front. Will needs to go now if he wants to use these fresh tires. And now he finally will get the move done. 2 in 1 corner. He's up to second. So that is key. Now we can go chase down Jason Fensler, your race leader. Zampa and Gardner are not done, though. They're going to continue the battle that was going on before they were rudely interrupted by the 68 machine. And Nick Gardner will reign victorious. He is up into P3. Here comes Justin Stenard, another car on those fresh tires. And look at the difference they make. It looks like Gardner and Zampa have just burned off their right fronts. They do not have the pace that Young did or that Stenard does right now. And Stenard was in that caution, so he came down even one more time after his original pit stop, and he's still already up into third place. Chase is on out front, though. Last lap was a 0.5 of a second difference between first and second. And Will Young is driving his guts out, trying to go get a stage win here. Stage is at lap 35. So once all 10 drivers cross the line, I believe on lap 35, the caution will come out. So that's when he's got to get him by. Young going to go up top. Doesn't have anything for him. He's been able to drive right up to these cars, but actually making the pass has been a little bit of a challenge for the driver of the 68. This time he's going to go all the way up top. Side by side for the lead. Young up top, Fensler down low. Does he have anything for him? Will Young is clear. And your new race leader. Now Justin Stenard has been faster each of the last 2 laps than Will Young, but we'll see if that was more of a traffic issue rather than an overall speed issue. Right now the lead stabilizing at about 0.9 to a full second, first to third. Fensler, he's just trying to hold on to second, and he's doing a pretty good job of it right now. Ever since he got passed by Will Young, he's been able to keep pace. And right there, he's going to have a run and maybe be able to get by Will Young now. Young going up top, trying to protect the position. He does so through 3 and 4 there, but I mean, Fensler may have something figured out for turns 1 and 2, it looks like. Three drivers all trying to get those all-valuable playoff point and the stage points that come with it. 10 regular season points. That'll help you in your bid for the regular season championship and any seeding towards the playoffs. And then you will get 1 playoff point that you get added to your tally every round in the playoffs if you win this stage. 3 laps to go in doing that. And look at Jason Fensler. This is where he keeps track with Will Young through 1 and 2 right there. He can hold on, and then right here's kind of been his weak spot. This time he's going to try to run the middle. Looks like he may have a little bit of a runoff. 2 laps to go in stage 1. Everybody closing on up here. Young fading. Fensler and Stenard are gaining. Side by side down the back. Fensler is there. Stenard is lurking. And just 3 and 4 has not been a good corner for Jason Fensler. He's not been able to find a line that works for him as well as he's got 1 and 2 working. And the stage is going to go out right there. So that is your stage caution. Now, I see one car stopped on the track with some damage, so I didn't know if they just called it a lap early, but it looks like they have some trouble for the number 11. Let's see what happened. Looked like it was down the back straightaway, maybe. Looking to the inside of James Larrabee here. This is for 22nd, and that is an odd one. Let's rewind. Go up top to our trusty chopper view. So Horner's just running the middle. He expects James Larrabee to be near the wall, but kind of just a miscommunication between those two and ended up with some wrecked race cars. But pit stops getting ready to take place, and these are all important. You want to be in control on the restart so you don't have to deal with the dirty air throughout the entire next run. And I was not prepared for that. I was taking a drink of water. It's Will Young staying out at the start of this stage, which is very interesting. Everybody else bringing their car down pit road, but Young trying to maybe save a set of tires here. See if a caution comes out mid-stage, then I'll put them on and just drive right out to the front again. I don't think that's too bad of a strategy. Doesn't look like any 2 tire stops. Maybe Nick Gardner, or maybe he just beat out number 15, Jason Fensler, right there. Good pit stop for him. But yeah, so this is a bit of a risky strategy for Young, because if he does not get a caution this stage, he's going to drop all the way to the back. But if a caution comes out about the time it did last time, he's going to be able to come down pit road, put on new tires, and drive out to the front, as he just did. Take this time during stage 2, at the end of stage 1, stage 2, to hear from our sponsor, Wild Bill Soda.
You're looking mighty thirsty. Wild Bill's, pure cane sugar, old-fashioned sodas.
And we come back as maybe Will had a change of mind here. He's going to come down pit road, and he's going to put tires on it. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't know pit road was open? It's a head scratcher. But thank you to Wild Bill Soda, all they do for supporting our series. Great sponsor with them. And then R4 Environmental, our stage 1 sponsor. Now we're getting into Washam's on the Fence stage 2. And of course, at the start, our lineup was presented by Custom Ink. So all of our great sponsors out there, thank you to them for helping us put on this great series. So stage 2 will be less laps in length than stage 1. And don't worry, these guys lining up too wide. They are not going green this time by. Lights are on the pace car. But yeah, with the caution coming out and then you running those caution laps, stage 2 ends up being certainly shorter than stage 1. So we'll see if that influences the way anybody decides to attack this stage or what. This time by, they will take the green flag, and it'll be Nick Gardner, your new race leader. Don't let Jason Fensler being on the outside fool you. Every time he had done that before, it has been him being in the lead. What is going on? Oh, no! What just happened? What? Okay, so watch the 7 and the 17 on this caution. The 7 just drives through everybody. What? I mean, it looks like another mechanical failure. Or maybe, just maybe, it is October, maybe ghosts are taking over these race cars and driving them. Because I don't know what that was. But we're getting ready to go green. A couple of cars now have damage. No, lights are back on the pace car. Not going to go green. I don't know what's going on. This race may be known as the haunting of Texas Motor Speedway. It's the second time tonight something like that's happened. And I don't think we've had one all year prior to that. I am very confused. And that's going to make them go a lap down. So I don't know if maybe race control is just going to give them their laps back. But yeah, that is a problem for Jake Williams, Derek Riley, and I mean Blake Kennedy was the one that ran into him. I don't think it was intentional. I'm perplexed right now. Anyway, this time we should be going green. And maybe we'll get back to some racing. Again, I don't really know what happened there. I don't know for sure what happened earlier. Whatever it is, hopefully it straightens out and we can get back to some racing. It'll be 5 laps now that we've had to spend under caution, unfortunately. But this time, unless anything crazy comes out of turn 4 here, we will be going green. It will be Nick Gardner, your race leader. He's the control car on the inside. Jason Fensler is to the outside, second place. Coming to the Geico restart zone. Here we go. Big jump for Gardner. Away he goes. And Dylan Zampa trying to make his way through. He's up into second. So Zampa was very strong early in last run. Faded a little bit later. So we'll see if he keeps up the aggressiveness because this stage is a little bit shorter, or if he tries to back it down a little bit early, save the tire for later in the run. Nick Gardner out front, trying to hold off the hard charge of Zampa, and he is there. Dylan Zampa to the inside with Nick Gardner on the outside. Looks like that move is almost complete as they all head down the back stretch. Gardner fighting back on corner exit. We've seen the outside be the preferred line in 3 and 4 when trying to make a pass, but Zampa just powers on through. He's out to the lead. So now Fensler, he's going to try to make a move on Gardner. He's to the inside. Battle for second now heating up. And Fensler can just get that car to work on the bottom. I mean, we saw it even on his older tires, but wow, that was an impressive drive right up to the back bumper of Zampa. Now here comes Stenard to the inside. Gardner dropping early here. See if that's maybe him just trying to save, or if he just doesn't have the pace. Stenard is looking. Doesn't have the angle just yet. He's going to have to settle in 4th place there for at least one more. There goes Dennis Steele to the outside. He's going to try to make a move. But it's Jason Fensler all over Dylan Zampa right now. Let's look off the rear of Zampa. Jake Williams in the chat has said it's an internet issue is what caused all that. He was a victim in that atrocity. Fensler is to the inside. You can see him getting ever so closely. And then he did get to his inside. What can Zampa do to protect? Whole lot of nothing. There goes Fensler back to the lead. That kind of brings Nick Gardner back into the fight, but I mean, this has been insane racing for these front 4. These guys have been so close together pretty much all of this race. Everybody moving back in line. Everybody's got just slightly different lines in the corners. As they all just rip the bottom that time. But yeah, the line choice is very interesting because you see how wide these corners are, but look where everybody migrates to. Right near the bottom, about a lane and a half up. There's really no other place that these guys choose to go, except maybe in 3 and 4, but with how wide turns 1 and 2 are, it's just a travesty that you could only use the very bottom. These front 4 sticking together like glue. Nobody else side by side throughout the pack, so we'll stay up here. Let's go on board with Justin Stenard for a lap or two. Take you around this 1.5 mile speedway. To me, what I hear there is a right front getting burned up. Ooh, real loose from Zampa. Gardner checks up. Here comes Stenard. Zampa trying to protect the bottom. Stenard looked low anyway. When you heard it through 3 and 4 last time, it felt like it was heavy throttle and heavy leaning on that right front. So, see if that kind of comes back to bite him later in this run. During this run, I want to take a look at one car here. Oh, Jason Bottom's got his car all fixed up. It looks like, anyway. Maybe some left side damage, but that would be it. But I was going to highlight him and Dylan Walterman. Both have some pretty wounded cars. It looks like Walterman's the worst. He's still off the pace quite a bit, but both of them back on track and still running. But the battle is still heating up between 2nd through 5th. Zampa trying to get away, while Stenard and Gardner battle for 3rd. It is incredible the tightness that these cars have and how tough it is to pass. Because these guys can drive so close to one another. That's what makes the Xfinity car so great. But Texas Motor Speedway has its own problems where you just don't have any more lanes you can use. So the Xfinity car is trying its best to put on a good show, but when there's nowhere to go to get around someone, you're just not going to get around them, really. And you've seen it. It looks like Stenard might be faster than Gardner and Zampa, and Lanier might be faster than all of them, for that matter, but they just don't have anywhere to go. Right now, they're starting to spread out just a little bit. Go back a little bit further. Battle for 8th, Cody Dorsey, Marshall Wilson. And I see Will Young there, your Stage 1 winner, just now cracking the top 10. I mean, we saw Stage 1, the passing looked easy because Stenard and Young had those fresh tires, but everybody's equal. It's not the greatest. Now here comes Tom Lanier to the inside. He's going to try to make a move. Stenard all the way up top. And he was the one that tried it earlier. And he tried it again, but it's going to be a loss of position for driver the number 33. And Gardner, he's starting to get all over Dylan Zampa for second. Remember, stage at lap 70. All these points matter. Gardner looking inside. He is there now. Zampa wanted to swerve down, try to block, but it was too late. Here comes Nick Gardner to the inside. Does he have enough? No. It's going to be Dylan Zampa holding on and pulling away out of turn 4. And again, you see that flasher red out front. Jason Fensler, he is loving what he's seeing, this battle for second. Let's do a little crank it up for the first time tonight at Texas. Crank It Up presented by Mission 22. They're a great cause. Find more out about them in the description below. Dylan Zampa has held off the hard-charging Nick Gardner for now. In the last couple laps, Dylan Zampa has been the fastest car on the racetrack. So we'll see if maybe he was saving his stuff a little bit better this time. And he's going to try to fight back on the long run here. That last lap, it was Gardner faster than Zampa, so not a whole lot separating these drivers, second and third. Will Young is on pit road. I'm going to check the chat here. No reason on there. Let's try to find out what happened. Again? What? So he's battling with Cody Dorsey back here. And let's see what happened. He slides up, gets into the wall. Hard. both ways and then just turns left and drives into his pit stall. So a huge incident for Will Young as we're creeping towards the end of stage 2 now. He's 2 laps down, 19th position. I mean, I thought when we first went back there, I thought it was another wheel breaking, but no. Contact with Dorsey there. And he went, just cut right through the side of pit road. And got his service done, got out 2 laps down. So it's interesting that iRacing didn't deem that a caution. A slower car through the middle of the track, but to them they said play on, and fortunately that's going to be the detriment of Will Young. All the damage was repaired, you saw there, but there is definitely a problem with his position on the racetrack right now. This is still the battle for second, 2 seconds off of the lead. I know the lap counter says halfway for you guys, so we're on lap 66 out of 70 for Washam's on the Fence stage 2 here. And everybody's been pretty well spread out here, so I don't really have any more action to show you other than Gardner and Zampa right here, right now. Both these guys are about to put Dylan Walterman a lap down. Dylan's already a lap down. Fensler's ahead, but second and third going to go by Walterman there. He's got that front end damage, but as long as he can beat the free pass, get it fixed under the next caution, things might be okay for the driver of the 16. So Fensler, just putting on a clinic right now. He's been easily the best car in the long run. Even with 15-lap older tires, he was keeping pace with 2 drivers who are on those fresher tires. So right now, out to almost a 3-second lead over Dylan Zampa and Nick Gardner, who are trying to chase him down. Go a little bit deeper in the pack. Derek Riley, Scott Milner. This is not for position, but it is 2 cars trying to pass one another. And Riley had a pretty fast car, just got caught up in that that incident with 7 of Blake Kennedy, his internet problems. So he's trying to get himself back on the lead lap, but it's going to be a long way to get there. Now, something Will Young can do likely is he can stay out at this stage break. He'll go down to 1 lap down, but I don't think Walterman or Horner will be able to do the same thing. But we are on lap 70 now, so let's go take a look at our stage leader, Jason Fensler. Out to a commanding 3.2 second lead. Gonna come home and take the stage 2 victory. And we should have time to go catch the battle for second. No, they were a little bit too fast. Dylan Zampa comes home second. And then it'll be Cody Dorsey, Scott Milner rounding out your top 10, as there's the caution as the 10th car goes across the line. So it is Jason Fensler, your stage winner. Dylan Zampa, second. Nick Gardner, third position. Tom Lanier, fourth. Justin Stannard ends up 5th place. Dennis Steele, 6th. Jason Seams in the 81 is 7th. Marshall Wilson, 8th. Cody Dorsey, 9th in the number 9. And then Scott Milner rounds out your stage point getters right there in 10th. So Dylan Walterman is the first car 1 lap down. Will be the free pass. And then it'll be Stephen Horner, Will Young, and Derek Riley, the other cars, any laps down. I wonder if Derek Riley is going to try to stay out here. I mean, it's 32 laps on his tires and close on fuel as well. But if he stays out, takes the wave around, maybe get a quick caution, come down pit road, and maybe just make your own luck that way. But there's seams into his box. Wilson, Dennis Steele, Gardner, Zampa, and Jason Fensler just about gets that thing perfectly parked. And it should win him the race off pit road. But Zampa and Gardner got in there pretty well also. So here comes Zampa. Fensler out. And right across the timing line, Jason Fensler wins the race off pit road. So there are all sorts of spread out behind. Yeah, we'll see. Riley, Young, and Horner, they're all staying out because they're lap down cars. But will they decide to take the wave around or not? I think it's a no-brainer for Young. I think he's gotta. Everybody else we'll see. So I'm going to go bring in Noah Tansman here, see if he's ready, and talk to him about the race here. Hey, Noah, you got me?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. I mean, we are at the wonderful Texas Motor Speedway for the Robin Rubinstein Memorial 200. How does it feel to have these guys put together something like this for you?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't believe it when Thomas originally told me that they were gonna change the name. It's really special to me knowing that we have a great group of guys that are just willing to treat everybody like family. I just enjoy it so much. Yeah, it's been a good race too so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's looked pretty fun up here. How's it been for the number 66 on track?
So far, it's been pretty good. We had a mechanical difficulty a little earlier on in the race, but so far it's really good. Very loose. Got to maintain these tires here. They burn very fast, but hoping for a top 10 tonight.
Yeah, well, glad to have this named after you. It's a great thing, and glad your race is going well. Hope everything's good with you and your family, man. Good luck with the rest of the night.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Chance. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. That was Noah Tansman. The race, of course, named after his grandmother, Robin. And yeah, I mean, he said it. It's a great testament to the group of people we have here. And of course, like any family, if you guys would hear the voice chats every race, you may not think they're the sweetest group of guys, but yeah, I mean, everybody cares about each other here. It's all for a good time, and you can do something like that. It's always great. But on the strategy side of things, looks like all three of those guys decided to take the wave around, so it's going to be Fensler on the outside, Zamp on the inside. Fensler is the control car, and then those three all trying to get their laps back in any way they can, hoping for a caution early. So it'll be lap 76 when we go green here. So it'll be around 54-55 lap run to the finish, as opposed to the original 60. So see what kind of strategy people come up with through this stage, and let's get ready to go racing one more time from Texas. Get ready to begin National Coatings and Supply Stage 3. Here we go. It's a great jump for Fensler. Lanier as well. We'll see if he can follow him on through. And he's already to the outside. He may have already cleared the one of Zampa. But here comes Zampa fighting back on the inside. And you heard Noah Tansman. He was complaining about a loose race car. So we heard a lot of guys in practice complain about tight. And now the complaint is a loose machine. So interesting, as we've got a caution on the racetrack. And that is exactly what those guys who took the wave around wanted to see. Let's go see how it happened. Looks like it was Scott Milner involved. I'd like to know how he was involved. So he just... Talk about loose race car. There is one right there. He just lost it. Around he went, and caution is out quickly. And officially, Lanier was not ahead of Zampa at the time of the caution, so Zampa lives to fight another lap. So that'll give Will Young from 2 laps down and crashed. Now the free pass, and he should have some fresh tires as well. Some drivers coming down right here, namely Stephen Horner, who took the gamble to come down pit road and take the wave around. Yeah, not come down pit road, take the wave around, and it paid off for him. So he's going to be back in the lead lap with some fresh tires now as Lucky Dog High. There goes Will Young. As we're watching the Wild Bills machine roll around here, let's hear from our friends at Wild Bill Soda.
You're looking mighty thirsty. Wild Bill's pure cane sugar, old-fashioned sodas.
And there's Will Young trying to catch up with the pack. A couple guys coming down pit road a little extra. Dakota Bly, Scott Kerberg, and Robert Clifford all came down. Next time by, we will go green. This time, still waiting under the Mission 22 caution. So 53 laps of, 53 laps to go. Sorry, not 53 laps of fuel. I can only guess. My estimation is around 40 to 45, so we will see when people decide to come down pit road, or if maybe some guys decide to stretch it on fuel. And I can't anticipate that you can make it to the end on fuel unless you save, because I think everybody would have came down under that caution right there. But again, like many times tonight, it'll be Fensler and Zampa leading us to the green. And we're not going to be going green this time. Lights are still out on the pace car, or still on the pace car. So wait one more time around. Let's take a look at some of these pink race cars. That's a red race car. Dylan Zampa's got, I believe, an unintentional pink scheme. I don't think he's affiliated with Full Send Racing, but he's got one on. Dylan Walterman, I know he's got one. Jason Bottoms. A little bit of left-side damage on that one, but looks tough. Cody Dorsey got a little bit cleaner of a left side. Who else do we got? Justin Stannard has pink on his car, but I think he does that every week. Dakota Bly, a little bit of a light pink on that Dr. Pepper machine. Bill Young, of course. He's got it. Noah Tansman. I think that might be all of them, but this time we should be getting ready to go green. And it will be Jason Fensler leading us to that green flag. But yeah, I'm not sure why that caution took an extra lap there, but it did. And yeah, Dakota Black came down one more lap there, top off on fuel, as did Dylan Walterman. Walterman was likely to fix some damage, but he's out already, so I'm going to assume that 16 is all fixed up. Don't get a blend line penalty, Dylan. Try to look at it now. I mean, there's still certainly some damage, but I would say it looks a little bit better than when we last looked at it. But here we go. Fensler, Zampa, Gardner, Lanier, Stenard, Seams, Steele, Dorsey, Bottoms, Wilson. Your top 10. Pace car. Left turn down pit road. Into the Geico restart zone. Here we go. And we've seen it time and time again tonight. Jason Fensler. He gets that great jump. And then he brings the second car on the outside along with him. Gardner not able to stick to that right side of Zampa. As here comes Seams. And Justin Stenard. This is interesting. Jason Seams, he's pretty fast in practice, but he had to start from pit road. Did not get a qualifying lap down, and now he's finally got some track position, worked his way up into 5th. Everybody coming down the backstretch. You see them all just kind of running that inside line, and you'll see the same thing here. We've seen this before from Zampa. He can be all over Jason Fensler early on in the run. Will he be able to stick with it? That is the question. Marshall Wilson set his fastest lap at the race last lap. We'll be on the lookout, see if anybody did it this lap. Unfortunately for the field, it was Jason Fensler who did it. Out in the lead, and Scott Kernberg as well back in 14th. Jason Seams hard into the wall back there. Kind of got caught up into it. They lose spots to both Tom Lanier and Justin Stenard. So let's go off the rear of Jason Fensler. And this is another time this year where it seems like Jason Fensler is going to have to be the one to beat Jason Fensler. Just on the long run, he cannot be touched, it looks like. He is saving his tires better than everybody else. You heard Noah during the stage 2 break. The tires are getting destroyed out here. There is kind of no argument about that, but Fensler's been able to hold on a little bit longer than everybody else, and once we get late in these runs, he gets out to a 3 or 4 second lead. Early on, Zampa, Gardner, Lanier, Stenard, all these guys can stay with him, but everybody starts to fade apart the later we go into each run. So I think any sort of strategy that you can use to get off the cycle of Fensler, you got to do it. And I think that's going to have to be running as long as possible and hoping for a caution, because if you come down too early, Jason's just going to come the next lap. You got to wait for Jason to make his move, and then you make yours. You're obviously going to be slower than Fensler over the course of an entire 55-lap run that we're on, but if you can get a caution, if you can get any sort of thing to go your way, do it. Sometimes you just got to make your own luck. If you're not risking anything, if you're not playing any strategy, it's impossible for you to get lucky. So, saw it earlier with Horner, Will Young, Derek Riley. Those three all stayed out, took the wave around, even when it maybe would have been better to come down pit road tires-wise, but they stayed out, got a caution right away, and were able to come right back down. Speaking of them, Will Young, Cody Dorsey, Marshall Wilson, Jason Bottoms, 8th through 11. Excuse me, Will Young is not a part of this. That's no Tansman back there. These four all trying to battle for 8th. This right here is for 9th. Dorsey ended stage 2 in 9th. Still running 9th, up 3 spots from where he started. Marshall Wilson right behind him. He's been up 10 spots. It's the second most of the day. Jason Seams up 18 spots into 6th. Only 2 drivers haven't changed spots. That's Jason Fensler, your pole sitter, still leading. And then James Larrabee started 23rd, ends 23rd out of the race. These guys are catching Jason Bottoms, certainly, though. And it looks like Bottoms has got that thing pretty much fixed. I thought that he was going to be the one with the most damage in that incident, not Dylan Walterman. But yeah, it looks like that 5 machine is all fixed up. But it is so hard to pass. You can see Dorsey get right up to Bottoms. His momentum stalls, and then Marshall Wilson will get up to Dorsey, and his momentum will stall. And it'll give Dorsey the ability to go fight Bottoms again, but just nobody able to get that pass done. It's right there, Bottoms takes that middle slash top, and it works to perfection. He's going to get a good run off and hold off Dorsey for another lap. Another battle on track, potentially heating up. Nick Gardner, Tom Lanier. And about this track position, we saw it last week. Fensler and Zampa, they did not prioritize track position. I think they've learned their lesson. And with the way it seems, track position is very, very important here. So, I don't think they're going to make that same mistake, and they would be wise not to. So if we get something late in the race, I wouldn't expect them to be on the wrong end of it this time. We're back to the battle for 8th. Turning into a battle for 7th. As kind of a group of 4 cars here are all starting to find each other. As Bottoms is chasing down Dennis Steele, Dorsey chasing down Bottoms, and Wilson chasing down Dorsey. Let's go off the nose of Marshall Wilson. Dorsey just about had a lane inside of Bottoms. Maybe he does. Bottoms real tight off of 4. Here goes Marshall Wilson. Gonna try to pick off Bottoms as well. But Jason is holding strong on the outside. That's one of the first times all night we've seen somebody be able to work that middle slash high line really, really well to defend a position. Can he do it again in 1 and 2? This is a tougher place to do it. It's like he's fighting a tight race car again, just about gets into the wall. He's going to lose the spot to Dorsey, it looks like, at least for now. He's going to try to fight hard again on the outside. So he'll stop Wilson from getting him. No, he gets into the wall. Wilson back to the inside. He's going to take that spot. Now here come Tansman. Clifford, 66.99. Bottoms is losing a whole heap of spots right here. Just made one mistake, lost so much momentum. And where he was running on the track, he just had to stay up top, lost his rhythm, and down the order he went. Now Robert Clifford trying to move forward. He's down 3 spots from where he started. I think he was hoping for a little bit better of a run tonight, but he runs 11th right now. So I wonder when these guys will decide to come down pit road here. We're about 27 laps through the run for most of these guys. And excluding cautions, we are just about exactly halfway through stage 3. So wouldn't expect anything just yet, but keep an eye on it. I think whoever comes to pit road first will lead just about everybody right in behind him. Clifford starting to gain quite a bit of time here. He came down on lap 78, so 5 laps later than most of these other cars. Maybe to top off. I'm not really sure exactly why, but he's driving his way back through the field here. Now he cracks the top 10. So he gets by Jason Bottoms there. There's one car coming out of the pits. That is Scott Milner. A couple others are down. Jason Bottoms. Tom Lanier. Who will be the next ones? We'll ride around with Jason Fensler until we see who else decides to come down pit road. Will Young came down on lap 95. I missed that completely. So he came down very, very early. '81 of Jason Seams down pit road now. Dennis Steele exiting. Tom Lanier exiting. Scott Milner coming down one more time. I'm going to guess he had a speeding penalty. Had to come down one more time. Now, I thought Fensler would just hop right down when Tom Lanier did. Just keep up with those guys behind him, but no. And with that, I think that's an advantage for Tom Lanier. Being able to come down early and get those fresh tires on before anybody else. But Jason Seams looks like he's actually in front of him on the racetrack, so. Or no, that was because Seams was still on pit road. Disregard that. I believe that might be Dennis Steele down pit road again. Nick Gardner, Dylan Zampa battling still now. Nobody down pit road just yet up here. So Will Young is first out of the drivers who have come to pit road. Justin Stenard down now. But yeah, it's Will Young, Tom Lanier, Jason Bottoms, Jason Seams, your order for those drivers. They seem to be in quite a bit of a battle back there. Or at least Will Young is trying to get by Cody Dorsey. And then Tom Lanier, you see him right behind. 15er Jason Fensler on pit road will follow. Now Zampa, I believe, is still on the racetrack. He and Nick Gardner both are. So Fensler is the first one to come down. Here's Dylan Zampa. Looks like that was clean and also pretty aggressive. Well done by Dylan there. So that leaves Nick Gardner, your race leader right now. Yeah, everybody came right there. Zampa, Dorsey, Wilson, Fensler, Clifford, Tansman. Ton of drivers down pit road. And Gardner's deciding to stay out. They're trying to run this thing long. If he can catch a caution at the right time, it would be an incredible move by him. I think that's really his best way to win this race. To get a good finish, maybe come down right here, but to go and win it, beat Jason Fensler. Pull out some strategy, as I was talking about. I like it. Other cars still on track. Dakota Bly, Dylan Walterman still out there, and Stephen Horner as well. So 4 cars still out there running. As Tom Lanier's actually leapfrogged Jason Fensler in this little pit road exchange. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that, though, as he came down 5 laps before him. Let's go watch him try to chase down Tom Lanier. So the 27 of Gardner is just ahead of these guys, so they're going to be charging hard to try to get their lap back. And then at that point, that may be when Gardner decides to come down, or maybe he's going to try to stay out long. Because if you can just run your fuel out, and if he can come down, stay on the lead lap, get a caution, everybody else is going to come down, you will get to leapfrog them. I mean, it's a whole world of possibilities for Nick Gardner right now. He just needs a little bit of luck. But here comes Tom Lanier, Jason Fensler. They will go right on by, and now Jason Fensler trying to go by Tom Lanier. That is for 5th on track, but remember, 4 cars in front of him have not come down pit road, so effectively the race for the lead. Move done and dusted right there. Now Fensler trying to get by Bly and Horner. That is for position. Gardner down pit road right now. We're going to stay with him. Keep you updated on where Fensler is. Oh, and he overshot his pit box there. That'll hurt. Fensler just exiting through turn 4. Now going across the start-finish line. Nick Gardner just getting his left sides up. So going to be a very, very long wait, but now he's going to be the guy on fresh tires, so we'll see. Horner and Bly still out there trying to make some luck, and I like it. This is the battle for the lead right now. Dakota Bly to the lead ahead of Stephen Horner. Now here comes Jason Fensler to ruin all the fun. Almost contact there. Horner might have needed to take a little bit of a hit, a caution for his Back to the Pack podcast buddy, but Fensler backed out of it, and he's going to go back to the lead now. But we'll see how long Bly can stay out. I mean, he might as well stay out literally as long as his fuel can run. He and Horner. Oh, contact to Lanier and Bly. Bly got a little tight there. Came up the racetrack. I don't think he expected Lanier to be that close, and a little bit of contact made, but no bloodshed. Here's Dylan Zampa. He is back in third position. Well, fourth position right now. And I'm surprised that he's this far back. I thought he did pretty well getting on pit road. I guess we didn't watch him get off pit road, so maybe struggled a little bit there. So now a 1.7 second lead for Jason Fensler. Let's go watch probably the most interesting driver on the track right now, Nick Gardner. He went from the lead back to 13th under that last pit stop cycle, but this will move him up to 11th position already. So, and I mean, his car is much faster than everybody in front of him. Stephen Horner talking in chat, maybe signifying he is coming down pit road. Bly chatting as well, so yeah, 58 down pit road, 11 looking to do the same. So they rolled the dice, didn't get what they needed, and I mean, the risk is the risk, but didn't pay off for him this time. I mean, I've seen it many times with Dakota before that he's made that strategy work. And this is a tale of two strategies here. Will Young, Nick Gardner. Will came in on lap 95. Gardner on lap 113. Both pitting under the same pit cycle. So a 20 lap cycle we had there. Maybe even longer if you consider how long Bly and Horner stayed out. But Gardner on the move. That is for 7th. If we can get a caution or something late, he maybe will be able to stay out while some others may not. Or if others stay out, we can stay out with him and have better tires. So it may not all be over just yet for Nick Gardner as he works on Robert Clifford for 6th already. Jason Fensler still out to a 3.2 second lead over Dylan Zampa. Zampa has Tom Lanier covered by about a second, and Lanier to Stenard is another second. So that's your top 4. And Nick Gardner is going to try to get into the top 5 if he can get by Jason Seams here in 5th. In these laps, he is running 6 to 7 tenths faster some laps than even the race leader, Jason Fensler. Everybody else, it's almost a full second. So Gardner is flying right now. We'll see how far he can go. If he can get it to a second a lap on Fensler, he can go win the race, but with him having to get through so much traffic, I wouldn't anticipate that. Yeah, that last lap, he was only better than Fensler by 3 as he was trying to get by Jason Seams. Long way to go to his next driver, though. That's Justin Stenard. It's about a 4-second gap then, like I mentioned earlier, about a second gap between each of those guys. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how far he can go. He was running third in a battle for second with Dylan Zampa. And if he just pitted at the same time, maybe he could still be there. But I think even though it didn't work out, I like Nick's strategy there. That's the best way to win, and you still got a good shot because you came so much later than everybody else that your tires are going to hold on a lot longer than theirs. And these leaders are not in any lap traffic. There is certainly traffic on the racetrack, but Fensler is, I mean, about a half a straightaway from another car in front or behind him, so he should be pretty much all good till the finish here. So it looks like Stenard kind of lost the handle of things in front there. That last lap, it was a full second Gardner had on Stenard. This lap, it was 1.1 seconds, so Gardner has got the Jaws music playing, and he is chasing down Justin Stenard. 6 laps to go. Coming to 5 laps to go this time by. Gardner needs a caution to win this race, but he can keep going. See how many positions he can get if one doesn't come out. I think the biggest winner of this pit cycle was Tom Lanier, though. He came in on lap 102, pretty much just split it in half, and he went from, I believe, 5th up to 3rd. So, pretty big jump, and, I mean, that goes from a top 5 to a top 3. That helps the stat sheet at the end of the year. There may have been some others a little bit deeper in the field. I wasn't able to follow those guys as closely. But Will Young hasn't fully lost touch. He was the first one down on lap 95. He now rides in 11th. Here's race leader Jason Fenzer with 3 laps to go. Gone. Almost a 5-second lead now. We're going to go back to the battle for 4th. So Gardner's been better now by only about 0.5 a lap as his tires are starting to go off himself. So we'll see what he can do here. If he's going to be able to make this pass or not, because everything has pretty much evened out. 2 laps to go for Fensler. And 2 laps for Nick Gardner. Trying to make one final pass in this race. And Nick's running for the regular season championship with Fensler. With Fensler winning the race and winning a stage, Nick's got to get everything he can, but right now it's all Fensler. Out to now a 5-second lead over Dylan Zampa in second. He's just going to coast at the end here. Make sure nothing goes wrong and come home, collect, I believe, his 2nd victory of the season, maybe the 3rd. I'm thinking it's the 3rd. But a great drive by the number 15. And he will come across the line as your race winner. 15 Jason Fensler. Dylan Zampa crosses the line 2nd. Tom Lanier 3rd. Justin Stenard 4th. And Nick Gardner will rally to a 5th place finish. No, Nick Gardner got him. Gardner to 4th, Stenard to 5th. Sorry about that. But the talk should be about this guy right here, Jason Fensler, with one of the most dominating races I think we'll see all season. Comes across the line first. No controversy this time for Jason. Zampa's going to come out there with him and celebrate with him. And yeah, Jason and Dylan, 2 teammates, so 1-2 for their team. Highest finishing FSR driver, I believe, is Cody Dorsey in 8th. So it seemed like it was a good race for him at the start there with Will Young winning the first stage, but things did not go according to plan at the end there. So we'll wait to hear from these drivers and hear what they got to say. Here's Tom Lanier right now. Hey, Tom, you got me?
Yeah, Chance, I got you, bud.
Well, podium finish for you tonight. finished where you started. Was there any more you could have got out of the car, or was that about where you thought you were going to get at the end of the night?
I pitted early. I knew that I didn't have anything for the top three, so I was just trying to, pick up some spots there short pitting. So, proud of being able to pick up a spot. That strategy worked out, but nah, I didn't really have anything. I was running pretty even there with the one, maybe a half tenth faster there, but third place, I'll take it. Been a tough season early on, so really glad to get a podium.
Yeah. Talk about also kind of how difficult it was to pass and just overall the driving it was out there.
Sure. If you start on the bottom in the second row, they're going to get a run on the outside coming off of two, and then after that, it's that's where you are. Really hard to pass. Everybody's kind of loose coming off of four. You're actually on the brakes going into one, so maybe try to outbrake, but if you're underneath somebody, you can't wash up to the wall and get that speed and get that momentum, so you just kind of fall back in line. So you got to be really disciplined, stay on the wall, run your line, and hope it works out strategy wise.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what it looked like up here in the booth. So yeah, tough to pass. That's just the way Texas is, I guess.
Yeah, still a lot of fun. Love this track. Really different the way the cars are set up to go around the flatter banking in 1 and 2, and then a little bit loose in 3 and 4. So really fun to drive. Had a great time tonight.
Yeah, and great finish for you. Top 3. Hopefully that gets your season back on track, Tom.
Well, thanks, Chance. I appreciate it, man.
Yep. That was Tom Lanier, your third place finisher. Let's go grab Dylan Zampa, the runner-up. Hey, Dylan, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, P2 for you there tonight. After the way last week went, how good does it feel to get back on the podium this week?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I feel like the first 2 races I've done in Chicago, I felt like I was fast, just getting used to the Xfinity cars. I don't really run these guys too much on iRacing. I kind of run the late model stocks a bunch and all that stuff. So it feels pretty good to kind of get the hang of it, just putting laps down in practice and in the race, just trying to stay close with Jason. I felt like we had a little bit of something for Jason, just kind of was riding a bunch, and the tire wear was pretty bad here, just kind of using up the right front a lot, and I felt like I made a wrong brake bias adjustment before we started qualifying, and I didn't put the best lap down, but I'll take a P2. It feels pretty good to be back up here at the front.
Yeah, definitely. And you're talking about the tire wear. When you get that lead, you get the clean air and you don't have to burn up the tires as much. How difficult is it? You were running P2 right behind Fensler a lot tonight to keep that right front safe.
Yeah, I noticed at Indy, I noticed last week when just when you're in dirty air, you just use that, that right front up more, just that dirty air on that nose. So I was trying to kind of move around a little bit, and it just really wasn't working because anywhere I would move, Jason would move, and he's really good in these cars, so he was doing everything he needed to put dirty air on my nose and just kind of make my tires go out quicker than his. And he was fast though. He made the right brake bias adjustment before the race, so I kind of messed up on that, but feels good to be back up to P2 though. I felt like me and Jason kind of been running fast these last 3 races, and pit strategy or something kind of gets in the way of us. So feels good to finally run back up front where we kind of been running all race, and so we'll go on to next week and work on myself a little bit harder and try to find that pace to keep up with Jason.
Yeah, definitely, man. Good finish for you tonight, and great to have you in the league. It's good to see you and Jason racing it out a lot up front. So good luck on the rest of the season and good run tonight, man.
Yeah, thank you. You mind if I thank my sponsors real quick?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I'd first off like to thank Blake Kennedy. Without him, I wouldn't be here. Jason Fensler, if he didn't ask me to come run the series, I wouldn't be here without him also. Got to thank the Zampa Motorsports crew. They worked hard in the garage getting this thing prepped. But, yeah, thank you. Thanks to the league for letting me join, and I'll be ready next week.
Yeah, definitely. That was Dylan Zappa, your second place. Let's go grab Jason Fensler, your race winner. Hey, Jason, you got me?
Yes, sir. You got me?
Yeah, I mean, a dominant race 2 weeks in a row. Tonight, it went your way, though. So how good does it feel off the back of last week?
Finally. We've been competitive every race, but I really struggled with the pit strategy deal, and I was happy to see that it finally paid off tonight. But the car was good. We just tried to take care of the tires from the drop of the green, and the cars got pretty tight, but it paid off for us.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned taking care of the tires. You were the best on the long run all night. Do you think that was more of the way you were driving or getting the clean air and being able to kind of just drive away like that?
Well, clean air definitely is a contributor to save the tires, but I mean, this place here, even I dropped back to third and just kind of took care of them, just stayed off the right front as best I could. And they kind of come back to you, after 5-10 laps, the cars start to slow down a lot if you're running hard right out of the gate. So that was just my strategy. If the guy wants to push me for position, I'll give it up, and eventually, hopefully, we'll circle back around by saving tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been something you've been great at. I remember when me and Chase were racing a lot more, those next-gen races, we would try to fly on by, and then about 10 to 15 laps, you go right back on by.
Well, and it depends on the track too. Sometimes the car's a little bit freer, so you don't necessarily have to save as much. But a place like this, 1 and 2 is so flat, it just kind of kills the right front tire. So just try to keep the speed, the pace, back to where at least it would kind of shine at lap, 25, 30. We're able to kind of cruise.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like you said, finally got that. Another win on the season, I should say. And yeah, we'll see if you can take this momentum now into Pocono next week.
Yeah, we'll see. We've got the pace. We've had the pace every week. It's just, like I say, those fuel strategy deals, I seem to struggle with them. But as long as we keep this pace, I think we'll be in good shape. It was a good race tonight. Dylan got a good finish in P2. I believe Tom was third. So it was a good race for us.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, good win tonight, Jason. And then, yeah, we'll see you again next week, man.
Sounds good, buddy. Thank you very much.
That is race winner Jason Fensler. And yeah, a dominant race for him tonight. And yeah, I think when we get to these high tire wear racetracks, I think of Richmond specifically, kind of just tracks where it is tight. Jason Fensler is going to rise to the top. He is one of the best at saving tires. We'll see if anybody saves anything from that interview, puts it into kind of their base of knowledge, and see if they've got anything for him throughout the rest of the season. But thank you guys for running along with me tonight. Remember, this was the Robin Rubinstein Memorial 200. Shout out to Noah, their whole team, and everybody putting this on for Noah. It's a great thing we got in this league, and really shows kind of the family atmosphere that we got going on. But I want to thank all of our sponsors as well tonight. Wild Bills, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, National Coatings and Supplies, Single Source, R4 Environmental, Java Jacks, Washington's on the Fence, Martin Sports, and Custom Ink. Their links are in the description below. If you want to support them, that supports us. But yeah, thank you guys for watching tonight, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.